Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into a sneaky threat, one that often stays hidden right up until the moment it causes a major problem. We're talking about unauthorized devices lurking on your corporate network. Think of them as silent intruders, and we're about to show you how to unmask them. Let's get into it. So here's our game plan. First, we'll break down just how big of a danger this really is. Then we'll introduce the solution, which we're calling your Network Watchman. We're going to open up its toolkit to see how it works, explore why this is such a huge win for your entire organization, and wrap it all up with the big takeaway: how this builds a truly proactive layer of security. All right, let me ask you a quick question, and I want you to be really honest with yourself. Can you, right now, name every single device that's connected to your network? I mean everything. Every smart TV, every temporary server, every forgotten virtual machine. If you hesitated for even a second, then you're going to want to stick around. You know that little moment of doubt you might have just felt? That right there points directly to a massive hole in a lot of IT security strategies. We're talking about the rogue device threat. It's a danger that's not outside your walls, it's already inside, hiding in plain sight. See, every one of those unknown devices, whether it's a developer's test server, an IoT gadget someone plugged in, or a VM that IT never knew about, creates a massive blind spot. And these blind spots are incredibly dangerous. Why? Because they aren't patched, they aren't monitored, and they can easily become the wide-open back door an attacker uses to steal your data, push malware, or just completely crash your operations. It's security in reaction mode, just waiting for the disaster to happen.
So, the big question is, how in the world do you patrol a network that might have thousands or even tens of thousands of devices? Well, you can't do it manually. You need a dedicated, automated watchman. So let's introduce the solution.
Meet the NetOps Virtual Appliance, or NetOpsVA for short. The best way to think about this tool is as a tireless 24/7 security guard for your network. Its one and only job is to constantly patrol the digital hallways, check every device's ID, and make absolutely sure that no one is there who shouldn't be. This is how you flip the script from being reactive to being proactive. Now, this security guard doesn't come empty-handed. It's got two primary tools in its belt. First, there's Rogue ARP Detect. This one scans the network's address book, the ARP tables, to see who's actively talking. Then you have Rogue MAC Detect, which goes straight to the hardware logs on the switches, the MAC tables, to get a list of every single thing that's physically plugged in. It's like having one guard watching the hallways for suspicious activity and another checking the roster for every single room. Total coverage. All right, so our network security guard has these two powerful tools. Let's pop open the toolkit and get into the nitty-gritty of how they actually hunt down these network intruders. The real secret sauce behind all of this is something called an OUI, which stands for Organizationally Unique Identifier. It sounds technical, but the concept is simple. Just think of it as a device's manufacturing fingerprint. It's a code baked right into the hardware that basically says, hey, I was made by Cisco, or I was made by Dell. So all you have to do is create a whitelist of approved fingerprints, and your network guard instantly knows if a device belongs or if it's a complete stranger. So what's the real difference between the two tools? Well, Rogue ARP Detect is great because it works with both Cisco and Juniper equipment, and it's focused on what's active, what's talking right now. On the other hand, Rogue MAC Detect is a Cisco-only specialist that scans everything connected, active or not. So, one is watching the conversation, the other is taking a full inventory of the entire room. Okay, let's look at Rogue ARP Detect in action. This is your go-to for multi-vendor shops. It pulls communication logs from your Cisco and Juniper gear, checks those OUI fingerprints against your approved list, and here's the clever part. It automatically ignores all the normal network background chatter, so you don't get flooded with false alarms. This makes it perfect for finding those rogue servers and shadow IT devices that are chattering away on your network. Then you've got Rogue MAC Detect. This one dives deep into your Cisco switches, and its superpower, it detects duplicate MAC addresses. Now, if two devices are trying to use the same ID on the same port, that is a massive red flag. It could be a simple mistake, or it could be a spoofing attack in progress. This tool is your network hygiene expert, making sure everything is clean and as it should be, especially on your most sensitive networks. Okay, the tech is cool, for sure. But let's zoom out a bit. Why should your boss care? What's the actual business payoff for putting something like this in place? It really comes down to 4 major wins. First, and most obvious, you seriously enhance your security by catching these threats before they can do any damage. Second, you get a single, centralized view of your network, even if it's a mix of different vendors. Third, you make your team way more efficient by automating a task that used to be a painful manual headache. And fourth, you make compliance audits a total non-issue because you'll always have a perfect, up-to-date inventory of every device on hand. And all of that leads us right here to the final and most important point. This is about more than just finding a few rogue devices. It's about fundamentally changing your entire security posture. At the end of the day, using both of these tools together gives your organization a truly proactive security layer. You get to stop playing defense, just waiting for an alert to tell you something bad has already happened. Instead, you get to go on the offense, actively making sure that only the devices you trust are even allowed to be active on your network in the first place. So, to wrap it all up in one simple view, Rogue RP Detect is your wide-angle lens, giving you broad visibility across both Cisco and Juniper networks to spot active intruders. And Rogue Mac Detect is your microscope, giving you a deep, detailed inspection of your Cisco gear to perfect your network hygiene and catch sneaky threats like Mac spoofing. They're a powerful 1-2 punch. So we'll leave you with this one last thought. Your network definitely has a front door, but it probably has thousands of side doors and back windows too. The question is, are you absolutely sure you know who holds all the keys?